Product deep dive number 3 using the Viral Launch product discovery web app. So our third and final product we're going to look at of the 60 to 80 products that I found is this one, the Heavy Sensory Blanket. So we see here that it has 2 reviews, selling about $300 a month and $62,000 in revenue, $200. So it's a higher price point, again, oversized, which I like. Let's take a closer look here on Amazon. It looks like it is a blanket again, Photoshop pictures, and some white background images. Not really digging this listing. It does not look very good at all. But let's look how it works in our vetting criteria. Let's jump right over to age first, because that was one of the areas. This one's 56 days. Again, I like to do products that are over 2 months, especially when the last 2 months were Q4. So those are kind of inflated sales. And if you're looking at products after a certain time frame of year, whether it's summer, whether it's winter, you want to make sure that the other times of the year, perhaps when sales might be slower, that the product still sells. So this one is not giving us enough information to choose if it would be a good product to sell. However, like the last product, just because the exact product that we found on product discovery wasn't the one we actually ended up looking at, that's what we're going to do here. So let's look at this product, which looks like the keyword is weighted blanket. So let's just look on Amazon to see if there are any other ones that are a little longer or older in age. So here we have, and you know, since I typed in this, we can actually jump also to market depth to see how this niche in general. So let's pull up our market intelligence. So we see review quantity. We got some that are pretty low, but we have some up to the 200s, a lot of mid 100s, and sales are pretty good all along. Remember, I wanted a minimum of 90 sales for my product, and this one you're going to need a little bit more money to get into if you would choose a product like this, because the price point is higher. Let's look at the market trend. So we can see here it's a little lower, kind of drops but goes up. So it's not, I would still consider this to be decent sales, even though it looks like it does go a little higher during winter, which would make sense because it's a blanket. But most everything goes a little higher in the winter. So this doesn't bother me. I actually like how it still has decent sales throughout. So we look at here the top sellers. I'm noticing here too that some are FBA and some are FBM. Since I primarily only do FBA, that means you already have a leg up on the FBMs, because those are people who are going to be shipping them themselves. And if you're doing FBA, you're going to be able to ship it 2-day air to your customers, and that's already going to be a bonus to them. The market depth does look good, but let's try to find a specific item. And with DS Amazon Quick View, you can already see 5,000 BSR, 6,000 BSR, 20, 50, 23. You know, for an expensive item like this, all these BSRs are really good. And I see a couple, one sold by Amazon, any other ones? Not really. We're seeing that the reviews are 4-star, 4-star, 4.5, 4-star. And so 4-star. So we see there is room to improve on this product. So let's take a look at this item. It's 4-star. It's got a lot of reviews, and this will give us a good barometer on like what this product does. So I can already see here. Now this is a type of product that might scare somebody away. For myself, it doesn't really scare me away. We see so many different variations, but what I would do is, if I was pursuing an item like this, I would look for the top selling variations, or the ones that don't have that much competition but still sell well, whether it be the size. Because it looks like weighted blanket, fall asleep faster, sleep better, great for anxiety, ADHD, autism, OCD. So it looks like this is just a blanket that has a liner in it that looks to be a little heavier, and it's supposed to help with these different things such as anxiety, ADHD, and different health issues. And then it looks like there's different sizes, so I'm guessing that has to depend on, so it says 10% of your body weight, so depending on the size of person. So I'm guessing you could probably try to find who is the average size person and go after that. But let's look a little more here. So let's look at the age. So this is 174 days. I like that one. I like that because that does give us enough data to go off of. So the age is good. Let's fill this out all the way. Jason. We have our product name. This was weighted blanket. We're gonna grab this link here so we have something to reference back to. This listing is 168, but I'm just gonna put an X here. Again, you could if you want to, you could, do something like this, just so you know exactly when you're gonna compare all your listings or all these product ideas to see which one you want to choose. Now, consistent BSR, let's check that out. So here we go again. Our green line is our BSR. So we see this one's a little rockier. See, when you look at a 3 month, it does bounce a lot, but even when we see here 11,000 or 12,000 BSR is actually not bad when it comes to this expensive an item. And then drops down pretty low, goes up. But even at the highest here, it's 21,000. But if you go to the view of all to see the entire sales history, we can see the BSR actually is pretty consistent. It stays below 20,000. I mean, sometimes it drops lower, and this is even, it looks like it launched in July, but even in August, so that's not Q4, we can see this was still selling well. So I definitely like this consistency of the BSR, and especially when it comes to over the months prior to Q4. So I do like that. So I'm gonna put a check mark here. Market depth, we already looked at that. There were a lot of different blankets selling. Competitor listings, let's look. If we look here, we can see we have some lifestyle images. They're a little interesting. I think this type of product would be good to have like some infograph images that kind of like talk about some more of the health benefits besides just in the listing. It's decent. It doesn't have the greatest images. They're okay. I've seen worse. Doesn't look like they're using a lot of text for their bullets. I would like to see a lot more here talking about the benefits of what a weighted blanket can do. And the description is pretty weak here too. Let's look at some of these other guys that are in the niche. Yeah, again, there's none of this screams big brand to me. None of this seems like, oh yeah, that one's major quality. It just these like little snapshots with a white background. And this product looks like it found traction right around September and started selling well. Again, weak listing. The bullets, they're short, not much there. Description's kind of weak too. I definitely see some improvement we could do on there. Let's look at another one of these competitors. It's clear that this pattern seems to be something that a lot of people are going after. Let's look at this one. Another one with a lot of reviews. It's a little better. I don't know about the picture, but I like how it has the information on there. I'm guessing this is her sleeping well. I'm not sure. Ooh, I like this. I like these comparison images. So here we see even flow weight system, minky cover with Sensodots. Okay, sounds like these dots or something. 2-part construction for easy washing, large size, smooth, non-therapeutic appearance, adjust the weight, versatility, 4 colors, fast delivery. Interesting. So I guess a little bit, but again, I don't like any of these pictures. I mean, they're okay, but like this just doesn't look good. Like I'm not sure what they're trying to. The person looks miserable with that blanket. So we did check the competitor listings, Google Trends. Let's look at what Google Trends says for keyword weighted blanket. So we definitely see it has gone up. So that is slightly concerning, but I'm not sure too much. So a product like this, I would probably wait a little bit longer until January, February, right? Because in Q4's ended, and we can see where it stays steady at. According to when we looked at the BSR for these, they were still selling well even before Q4. And obviously this is a blanket, so maybe wintertime it would sell a little bit more. We'd probably need a little bit more time, but I would definitely keep this one on the radar. So Google Trends, we did check. You might want to make a note here. saying wait 2 months or a month. Now let's check on the reviews. This clearly does not have 5 stars. Let's see what some of these people are saying. I've had this blanket 4 days, and this thing leaks plastic and sand. That's not good, so it's leaking something. Does not work, causes pain in my legs. Don't buy this, they are way smaller than the actual blanket, which is also smaller than I expected. Hate to give a bad review. What is this person saying? I read reviews on this, thought these might be early reviews. As I did a lot of positive reviews, the gift, I decided to open the package. As soon as I laid it down, noticed there were beads everywhere. I also noticed there were loose threads that have been caught at the factory during should have been caught during quality control. Not much quality here, I don't think. There was quality control sticker, horrible product. Not as described. Missing the point about the deeply flawed description. This blanket is not 60 by 80, it's 56 by 73. So the measurements are wrong. Poor quality. Would it kill you to add Velcro and hem the fasteners? There's a company that makes a much better product. Oof. Stitching is all coming out. So I'm seeing I toss and turn, grind my teeth. I wake up covered in sweat. That sounds like a different issue than the product. Shipment was delayed. Let me guess, this is FBM. Yep, this is an FBM item, so that wouldn't have a problem if we were doing FBA. Leaks beads. Okay, we've seen that multiple times now. Beads started to leak. Pellets slide to the side. The blanket is cheaply made and not as described. I ordered a blanket, which was described as a blanket, advertised as having weight evenly distributed. Instead, some pockets had pellets and others were virtually empty. Sleeping in it felt like the weight was all in the blanket that was resting on the bed instead of me. Similar to others, my blanket came in. Okay, so it looks like this blanket does not have a liner. It looks like each of these pockets have beads in them. I wonder if there's another one that sells well here. Let's run our market intelligence on all of them and see which other. So we're looking at this one right now, 1,821 sales. What are some of these other ones? This one. And that one is doing 2,700 sales. This one's doing 2,100. This one's doing 2,049. So let's look at these three. Okay, that's similar. Similar. Oh, it's just doing... Oh, it's not going off of different styles. Okay, so it sounds like... Here's a different style. So again, I'm looking down here, looking at the BSR. Lower BSR means the better. Definitely a higher BSR item. So it sounds like, it looks like this style is very popular with the different these different sections in here. And it looks like the beads are in here, but everyone's complaining that the beads are sliding out and the stitching is terrible and that the weight isn't evenly distributed. Let's start to write some of this stuff down. So aesthetic is different types. We probably could, we would want to go with one of the more popular styles. So quality, I'd say better stitching. Keep beads from leaking. Correct sizing. I'm going to put under functionality here is most sellers are FBM. Aesthetic and bundle. So I don't think anyone's going to want to do quantities. A bundle, I did see someone had a carry bag. Aesthetic. So this is another one that I would look for other just duvet covers that also sell well. Let's go back here to weighted blanket. Let's see if there's any other listings here that are a different pattern. Okay, this one's a different pattern. Let's try this one. Because this would solve the bead problem, because unless there's beads in this. Okay, so this is different. So the other one had beads inside of each section. This one actually has another cloth or a liner inside of it, which would solve that problem completely. I wonder if you could have the other pattern and have a liner inside of it instead of the beads to have that type of weighted blanket. Again, not the biggest fan of these pictures. Let's see the BSR. So yeah, it looks like it stays under 40,000 starting in October. That's good. Let's look at some of these reviews. Start the 1 stars. Poor stitching. ripping at the seams. Oh, so this is, so when you have an item like this where all the different products are on it, on the same listing, even if they leave a review for not this style of the blanket, they're all going to be here together. So we see another type of review for this style. I guess they're selling this pattern also. Let's see if we can filter it and look for this one. So this is the rhombus. See, rhombus, gray rhombus. Oh no, that's just the color. Lies about the size. Okay, everyone is really upset about the size of the blanket. So if this seller does not change that, they're going to keep getting worse negative reviews, which would make it easy for us. All right, so this looks like the other style. Impossible to keep outer duvet cover in place. The weighted blanket ends up at a ball at the bottom of the corner. Huh. So far, just the open direct from these are beads in the box. Okay. Weighted blanket, except got way too hot because the material not breathable. So this whole beads thing is huge. So I'm gonna put a couple exclamation points on that one. And for the other style, inner blanket moves. So it sounds like it sounds like there needs to be a way to make it so that this inner layer does not move around on the inside. I wonder if it's just loose in there, and that might be an issue. Here's what we got so far on this one. Most sellers are FBM. That's a good thing. We don't want to sell it in different quantities. Quality definitely needs to be better stitching so to keep the beads from leaking. So if we could like have them like triple stitch that would be awesome. Or if we had the other size, if we found a way to make it so this inner blanket doesn't move around, that'd be really good too. For the aesthetic, we could look for which is a top selling one and also look at other top selling duvet covers in general, since that seems to be would translate over. We also would want to find the top selling sizes and weights. So again, one thing I like about this that might detract others is that it looks like you could really, create an entire brand on one product, just different sizes and colors. And if you can find one supplier who does a good job and you can get the right sample and get a good product that you can test out and make sure it fixes all these issues, you could really have a winner on your hand, and you could just keep expanding and expanding it. That is the final one that we're going to look at, that I would personally actually go and start talking to suppliers on Alibaba and start trying to figure out how I can fix some of these issues that are common problems, and also to find out what the margins are, because I have a feeling that there is no way that a blanket is going to cost anywhere near this much. So I bet the margins are huge on an item like this. So that is deep dive number 3. Now we're going to go on to the 8th criteria on vetting our product. And we'll see if one of these doesn't make it through that vetting criteria. All right. See you guys in the next video.